What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This morning I went to go ahead and put the tent up because yesterday I was just getting so worn out with the heat. Like, I was just so drained out. I should have put the tent up, but it is what it is though. That's one thing about, you know, working on a car, is that if you don't have a garage or a shade over and sun just beaming you all day, it can kill you, honestly. The sun is not too bad, it's not really kind of out, but just to be safe, I really don't want to get drained by the sun today. We made some huge progress on Glenn's Evo 9 MR. So yesterday, or last video, we went to go ahead and install the new X80 twin disc along with the ACT monolock. Damn, that thing looks so freaking beautiful. I went to go ahead and replace the release throttle bearing. Now that's all good to go. This rod over here that holds the clutch fork in place, this thing was kind of a little rough. I went to go ahead and sand it down with 320 grip sandpaper, get it all nice and clean up, and the rod went back in nice and smoothly. Here is the old release bearing. This thing was making real bad noise when we drove the car. I'm basically just double checking everything what we did on the car, making sure everything is good to go. Double check on the clutch, double check on the trans. That transmission has like this puka over here that something just kind of exploded and it just kind of made that hole. Some little slight crack over here. There is like a couple of cracks that I see from the outside. I mean, at least the trans is not leaking. A couple of things I did kind of found them. Here's some damages here that I see by the T case. You can see the seal is a little bit damaged, but at least it's not leaking. The o-ring right there, those are like the common o-ring that pops out every time, and if you lose that o-ring, you're gonna leak fluid, but thankfully it's still there. So before we go ahead and install the transmission back on the car, we are gonna be replacing the rear engine mount right there with torque solution. So if we were to put the trans back on, I'm gonna have a hard time to even get access of replacing that, so we're gonna go ahead and replace it before then. We're also going to be replacing the trans mount and the engine mount with torque solution bushing. I'll go ahead and show you guys later, but right now I want to go ahead, get that taken care of, knock that out, double check everything one more time, make sure we're good, and then we should make some progress of getting this car running, hopefully by today. If everything goes according to plan, we should get this car running by today. Like, I really want this car done. So I think it's like about maybe right now 10:05. So when we get the trans on, I want to go ahead and put the clutch slave and the cable shifter, make sure that everything is going to gear, make sure the clutch has pressure, and then we can go ahead and reinstall everything back on the car. The hardest part about putting the transmission is that I'm by myself, and it's gonna be real challenging because I always needed help trying to put this trans, because this trans is super hard, and I don't have a trans jack, so it's nothing that I can really do other than just try my best to kind of maneuver it. If I can get this trans in like at least half an hour, I'll be super happy. I think the longest it took me for the first time was 2 hours. So it seems like we don't have the rear mount. This is for the front on the cross member. Here's the engine side and the transmission side. So I better let Glenn know. So he might have to just do it when it comes in or when he orders one. But damn, look at this. This thing looks so damn beautiful. These things are just gonna vibrate the whole car. Here's the quality, how it looks. Nice and clean. I like it. This thing is nice. am right now.
Are you kidding me, bro?
We're like completely over there. Just for some reason it just doesn't want to slide in how it wants to. But it's just right there. Can you believe I started like 9 and I still never get the trans in till now? It's like already past 5:30.
You tried rocket?
I did.
Rocket.
Dude, I'm like so beat
like
right now.
Rocket like a baby.
Mr. Hotcakes here is gonna help us out now. Get his trans in his car. Dude, you know, it was kind of hard to take the trans out to begin with. Like I had to like pry it. I mean, that's normal, but usually if somebody did the clutch, I don't know how long ago, though usually it would be easy. But the shaft and the clutch wasn't like, I don't know, it was kind of dirty a little bit. So.
You like it dirty, huh?
Yeah, well. Dude, my whole body is hurting so bad. I think this might be the last time I'm doing a clutch on the Evo.
I knew it.
On the ground though.
I knew it.
On the ground though. If I had a lift, it would be cake, but on the ground, I think I'm tired.
You wanna try, or you want me to come back tomorrow morning, where you're fresh, where your body's fresh?
Well, you look too clean. I don't want you to get yourself dirty though. Unless you have any extra clothes on you.
Don't, sir.
So you just came straight over here hoping the trans is in. Brick, your car is like beating me up right now. It's alright, we'll get there soon. It's just right there. When I said it was probably gonna take maybe a half an hour or 2 hours of putting the transmission on, it took a lot longer than I really expected. Honestly, the goal was trying to get the transmission on at least about half an hour, and then I think the longest time it took me to put the trans on the first time was 2 hours. This, I never really expect to take this long, all day and night, just to get a transmission on. Like, we literally just put the trans on before 7 p.m. and I started working on this car like maybe 9 this morning. Such a crazy, it's been super hard without having a transmission jack or cherry picker, or just, you know, particular a lift, all the special tools that you really need to work on a all-wheel drive car, especially when you're putting a transmission back on. Well, especially for Evos at least. And during the day it was just getting super hot. Like, I was standing underneath the tent and the sun just heating, and all I felt was just like real hot heat, and I was just super tired. My body was just taking all the beating just trying to put the trans on. And luckily my brother-in-law was to help me. You know, it took like at least like 3-4 hours just to get your transmission back on. I think what I realized, and I should have thought about it, but I was already frustrated. You know how when you get so frustrated, you just can't really think, but you try to think, try to figure out a solution and try to overcome it. It took me a little while just to kind of figure that out. But what we ended up doing is that the T case was the most thing that, like, it was blocking the way of trying to line up the transmission to the engine. I didn't have the engine properly level where I needed to be to put the transmission on and move the transfer case at the same time out of the way. But we got everything squared out, thankfully, because this car was supposed to be running today and it never did. it sucks. But we are in a good progress, guys. I know it's not much that, you know, of a big deal other than putting the transmission back on, but that's just a victory. But then we end up installing the new engine torque solution mounts and also on the trans mount. Now all we need to do is that we need to button up a lot of things on the car still. Like we have all the plugs. Oh, shows me that my lights is going out. We need to reconnect all the plugs. I want to go ahead and put in the clutch sleeve on top and just kind of make sure that the clutch is getting pressure, making sure that everything is good. I did pop one of the clips off for the cable bushing, so I might have to find it. If I can't find it around here, then I gotta have to go run down to the store and get a replacement. Pretty much everything on the car that we need to throw back, like axles, cross member, the cover for the flywheel. We also have to install the rear mount because I couldn't get the transmission on the car, so I decided to take it out, and now it's gonna be a pain in the butt to put it back on. But slowly but surely, it's gonna take a little bit more time. But I want to make sure that everything else is 100% perfect. That's all I really care about. I'm not gonna go ahead and film all night just to put everything back on the car. I'm just gonna go ahead and just jump on it, just take care of everything as much as I can. First thing in the morning is what I really want to do, is to have the car on the ground. I know that Glenn wanted me to crank the coils all the way down, but I guess we'll just see where everything else is at first before we do that. But it's just been really tired, guys. I really just hoping and praying that one day, like, I can just get a warehouse and have my own shop, have my own lift, have all my special tools. That way I don't have to worry about working at home. I mean, I know that working at home, it saves me a lot of money, but then again, having a warehouse and have everything I need will give me the biggest profit and the best benefit for me, especially for working on cars. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall everything back on the car right now, so I'll keep you guys posted to see where we at, and hopefully it doesn't take long because it's already getting late. It's already after 9 and I'm already tired. So it is now the next day, guys. So I never really did much last night, as I said that I was gonna try my best to get everything on the car, and apparently when I end up putting the torque solution engine mounts and trans mount, they were giving me a really hard time just because the mounts are super solid and that the T-case was stuck. I couldn't rock the engine back and forth, so I kind of like gave up. I just kind of cleaned up all my mess, and this morning I went to go ahead and put back the stock mounts. That way I can go ahead and just kind of put the T-case back in place, put everything back in place, and everything lines up. So this is what we have going on. So we have all the stock mounts back on. I'm gonna go ahead and just leave those on for now, and then down the road we can go ahead and replace with over the torque solution. So we basically got the transmission, T-case, rear mounts. What else? We got the clutch sleeve and the clutch stopper. I went to go ahead and test the clutch. Feels super nice. We get all that good to go. All we need to do is that we need to top off transmission fluid, T-case. We still have to button up the downpipe right there. I am missing one of the clip for the cable bushing on the bottom, so, and he also went to go ahead and grab a 3-inch gasket for the downpipe, because the one on top here is a little bit different. It takes about this kind of design, so it's a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. The variant gasket that he got doesn't really fit on the one on the downpipe, but it does fit on the center exhaust and the axle back. Thankfully we have this also with new hardware that we're gonna go ahead and get it replaced. So I'm just kind of going through everything on the car, double checking, make sure I didn't miss anything, and everything looks kind of good so far. We're just waiting on the clip for the cable bushing, also Napa ATF, which Glenn went to go down and grab some, and the gasket for the downpipe. I'm just hoping and praying that everything else that we did on the car is going to be good to go, and I'm gonna go ahead and double check everything. Like I said, once we have everything back on the car, I'm gonna go ahead and clean all the oil off, making sure there isn't any leak. Man, this is going on 3 days so far, and we're almost getting there. I know that it's supposed to be like a 1-day project, but it becoming a 3-day project, which, you know, it doesn't really matter actually. But all I'm looking for is that this car being on the road today, and that's all I really care about. But I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right now. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, follow the channel below, guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one.